What up, racer? ItsJerone here, and welcome back to yet another FRL League Racing video. Today we're here for the 10th round, I believe, around the Netherlands, my home country, around Zandvoort, and I was really looking forward to this race. I think I'm relatively good around this track as well, so that's promising. Now, if you didn't see the previous league race, it was a pretty good one for me, so I would recommend you check that one out, although it also involved a little bit of luck. But as you can see, we got a third place around Belgium, and that means we've also moved up to 6th place in the standings, with Zach relatively close behind me, and in front of us Ginger, Yogurt, and well, nobody else really are quite close, so possibly we could even move up into the standings heading into the last 3 rounds. Now, my banker lap here around Zandvoort on the medium compound tire was really bad actually. I could do, I believe, low 11s, but as you can see on my first run on softs, I was looking to improve by more than a second and still had the final corner to go. But unfortunately I hit that inside curb, which is a curb you don't want to touch, and I nearly spun, cooled down the tires a little bit and made sure to go again for another run. Now of course that wasn't the greatest exit onto the start-finish straight, so there was definitely already a full 10th on the start-finish straight. But currently we're in P9 and we're only, well, what is that, about half a second off of pole position right now. Now Kazizel had put in an insane time, 10.1 on mediums, which is absolutely mad. As we're currently sort of preparing for a final run. Wheel spinning went a little bit wrong there. I wanted to get a bit more temperature in my rear tires, but oh well. Let's start off the lap then with a little bit of grass on the tires. No real worries. As you can see, 18 seconds left in the top right, so it means this is our final run. Then braking for turn 1, I was sliding a little bit there, so didn't have optimal grip there, means I lost a little bit of time. Then heading into turn 3, you want to take this as tight as possible, and I think I did that relatively well, maybe not aggressive enough on the power. Then preparing for Schijfvlak. This is always a really difficult corner, and I think I did that pretty well, although you can hear I hit a bit of the grass there on the outside, which means I compromised my grip performance heading into this middle sector, and I think it showed a little bit, like I couldn't get on the power as early, little snap of oversteer in the middle there. But overall we're 2 tenths up heading into the final sector. Missed the apex of the right hander a little bit, but I think I do make up for it by carrying a good minimum speed through that section. Then heading on to the final corner now, this time avoiding the inside curb and actually taking it relatively safe there, because I wanted to make sure I would complete the lap, since we're nearly 4 tenths up and it would promote us a lot of places. And indeed we do go up to P5, but in the end Kazizel decided to improve on his time. He went out for a soft run and he obviously beat his time on mediums. So good lap by Kazizel, taking pole again. Then Jeroschrijf in 2nd, and Ginger in P3, Jeroen in P4, Zach P5, then myself in P6, with I believe Chihuahua and Simbalix behind me. Alright, qualifying's done, and for this race you need quite a bit of fuel actually. In the little practice I did before the race, I noticed I lost about 0.1 laps of fuel every 2 laps, so when it's 36 laps that would mean you need at least 2 extra laps of fuel. For some reason I went extra safe, went with 2.4. Now heading into this race I didn't really have a setup, so I sort of went with a time trial setup and adjusted it a little bit, and this is what I came up with. You can see it on screen here, and in the end it actually worked out relatively well, as we're currently preparing for 5 red lights and they're out relatively quickly, so we're underway for the Zandvoort GP, and we get a very mediocre start really, nothing special, and we managed to keep our 6th place for now, as Chihuahua is looking relatively close behind us, as we opt for the inside here for this left-hander. But then you can see there's some contact up ahead and we're sort of in the slow lane, and Chihuahua chose the right lane and goes around our outside, so Heyoo up into P6 and we drop down to P7, but you can also see P4 FRL Ginger really slow through that right-hander, which means he has picked up a bit of damage. as also we have a safety car. So let's go back to the race restart and let's see it from a different perspective. You can see I'm not getting away very well, but yeah, it's a really short run into turn 1, so it doesn't matter too much. But obviously when you get a mediocre start, you're not going to gain any positions off of the start. And then here there was a bit of contact between Ginger and Jeroen and Ron, and I just got stuck in the slow lane essentially. So, well, it doesn't matter too much. We've lost one position and hopefully we'll try and get those positions back later on in the race, as we're skipping on to the race restart again. It wasn't a full safety car, it was only a virtual, by the way. And you can see Zach trying to get past Ginger, and he manages to get it done at the end of the second sector. Or actually I think it's already part of the final sector, yes it is. So currently Ginger with damage, and you can see going through the final corner, he's slow. Heyoo has to back off. And let's see, is Ginger going to pull into the pit lane? Yes he is. But meanwhile we're really close to Heyoo now, so let's see. Gonna drain our battery, see if I can make something work, but we have a little look down the inside, but nothing major. Was not gonna send it from that far back. As you can see, yellow flags across the whole track again, as a Mercedes is now out of the race, and we had yet another virtual safety car. So we're gonna skip ahead a couple of laps now. We obviously got underway again, and you can see it's just a massive DRS train forming, because Izzle was pulled away at the front, so Ron is currently leading this train. And on this lap you can see I managed to drop Pricky out of my DRS range. So yeah, essentially it's just impossible to overtake around this track on pure pace, let's say. Only if you have like a major speed advantage, then you can possibly make something work. But throughout this first stint, nothing really happened. If you try to go for a move, then basically everyone in this DRS train is already 6-7 tenths apart. So if you go for a move and you manage to get it done, you will just lose DRS to the car in front of you again. So it really wasn't worth going for any moves. So as you can see, I nearly have a full battery, nearly 90% coming out of that final corner. And we're currently lap 14, and surprisingly still nobody at pit here. Because my tire wear is usually really good and I'm quite good at saving tires, I thought let's just go for an overcut. But, well, clearly nobody wanted to go early. Maybe considering the fact that we always have an insane amount of safety cars around this place. But end of lap 15, and it's me and Zach who decide to pull the pin and come in the earliest from the lead group. So as you can see, my tire wear nearly reached 60% already. So the tires from everyone in that lead group will be done, I think. Pit entry was really good. I think I gained a lot of time on Zach there. Pit exit was not the greatest, so Zach sort of gained that time back. But you can see we've dropped to P9 in the race now, and we've come out in clear air. Well, Zach has come out in clear air, of course, but I'm just going to try and follow him, and will actually stay on board for this out lap, as this is a crucial lap, because during this lap we should try to gain as much time as possible on everyone who was in that DRS train, and hopefully we'll be able to jump a couple of drivers and move up a couple of positions in this race. So as you can see, both me and Zach pushing relatively hard at this moment in the race, using all of our batteries and trying to make this undercut work, which in theory should work considering we stayed out relatively long in this race. You can see Khalifa is the first alternative strategy runner who will catch up to. Is currently 5.5 seconds ahead. But overall this outlap I think went relatively well, as we'll make sure to keep on the ERS now. You can see we're definitely draining it now. It's very hard to save any ERS around this place, so it's quite a precious asset to have. But you can see a couple of arrows in the pit lane still, and we managed to jump Jeroen and Chihuahua. Now Jeroen had accidentally double stacked with Izzle, so he was I think third in the DRS train, or second in the DRS train before, third net position in the race. But due to that double stack he of course lost those positions. So by doing that undercut, both me and Zach had gained 2 positions. Ron managed to defend his net second place in the race, as he had now been able to overtake Khalifa 2 laps later, and unfortunately Zach couldn't keep up with the pace from Ron. Now, this is not throwing any shade at Zach, but most likely I wouldn't have been able to do it. I think I was equal on pace with Zach, so it really wasn't a shame that we lost the DRS here. But of course it does mean that basically the best position possible in this race is now a P3 net position. So anyways, yet another safety car. Well, this time actually a full safety car, the others were virtuals. Now this is a full one. This is of course quite a good sign for all the alternative strategy runners. They're all coming into the pit lane now, so we do manage to get past them again, and we're now up into a net P4 in this race. We have 1 lap older tires than Ron and Kazizel, and of course also 1 lap older tires relative to Heyoo and Jeroen. As we're preparing for the restart, Kazizel is waiting quite long, and we're underway now. And due to that new safety car stuff, it's really hard to warm up your tires. So you can see Zach moving and weaving around quite a lot, trying to get a bit of temperatures back into the tires. And this was just like driving on ice, this first sector. It's just so difficult to get your tire temperatures in the right window at safety car restarts now. So, well, basically, once again, nothing really happened, and after the safety car, Ron and Kazizel managed to pull away together. Quite impressive that Ron managed to keep up with Kazizel, and yeah, once again, it was a bit of a shame Zach couldn't keep up, but honestly, I couldn't have done it either. As in the meanwhile, Jeroen managed to overtake Chihuahua on the previous lap, and now he's attacking us. So we're going to defend this position as hard as we can, make sure we don't outbrake ourselves, and defend the inside. But then on the exit, Jeroen actually gets an insane exit and manages to, well, be more in front of me at the right-hander. And I just didn't want to risk that going over that inside curb. It's really difficult to keep your car stable on that inside curb, so I just preferred to well, drop a position to Jeroen, who was quite clearly faster, but as I said, it's really difficult to overtake, so you don't want to give up positions easily. But I don't think, or I do think it was the right decision in the end not to risk it to go over that inside curb, as we're looking back to the replay cameras here. And yeah, you can just see, would have been really risky to keep it on the inside there. So I think it was the right choice. But now, Zach Ferrari out of the race. And what has happened to him? He lost the control of the car. And obviously this is yet another safety car. And he actually did hit that inside curve, but his car sort of flung back to the inside of the track. And he hit the wall on the inside. So interesting. And what's also interesting is the fact that we now have to make a decision. Do we come into the pit lane or do we stay out? I decided to just follow what Jeroen did, and we're in trouble. We picked up a 5-second time penalty there. Speeding into the pit lane under safety car conditions. That's just incredibly stupid, to be honest. Now, this time I actually know what the reason was. Zandvoort is just a track that demands so much of your concentration, and during that safety car period I just basically thought, well, this is the moment to relax, and for some reason I also thought it was a good idea to relax heading into the pit lane, which is of course not a good idea. But I've now missed a lot of the action again as we're underway for the restart. Jeroen spun there, Terror Racer going down our inside. You can see Kyle going really slow on the outside, so we're going down his inside, so we lose one position and gain one position back, or effectively we've actually won one position due to Jeroen spinning as well. So after that initial 5-second time penalty, I decided to come into the pit lane again to get rid of the 5 seconds and put on another set of softs. And in the meanwhile, you can also see quite a lot of different drivers have decided to stay out on their medium tires. The race leaders, Kazizel and Ron, have decided to stay out, and a couple of others as well. So we're now going down the outside of Luke, and Terror Racer opened a really nice gap for me there, and we both managed to get past Luke. So we're up into a net P9.
Right now, and Ron's just picked up a bit of wheel spin. And look at Luke, he's right. Look at that. They're going 3 wide into turn 1. Jeroone Visser on the soft compound tyres. Look at that. Jeroone Visser. Oh, he half spins to get collected by Luke. And Luke almost spins as well. As Jeroone Visser rejoins down in last place. Optimistic, trying to get past 2 cars at once.
So that was the perspective at the front of that safety car restart. And you can see it was just basically chaos everywhere. As Terracer going down the inside of Konzo again, but he spins now. And we have to avoid him. And it means we move up another position in this race. But it also means I lost quite a bit of time to the cars ahead. But fortunately for me, they're fighting quite hard. As Khalifa is, I believe, the only other one on mediums except the top 2. So Khalifa is actually getting passed here by Konzo, so really nice move from Konzo to get the traction coming out of turn 4 and managing to make the move before Schijfvlak. So it also means I'm now close to Khalifa, and our superior soft grip should mean we should be able to get past, but you can see straight line and DRS open for both of us, quite difficult. So we're going around the outside yet again, leaving him space on the inside, managing to get the traction out of the first corner, and we do manage to climb our way back up to P7 in this race. So a relatively good comeback drive after that stupid 5-second time penalty I picked up in the pit lane. And yeah, after this it was just DRS training again. Nothing really happened. Nobody picked up time penalties in front of us, so in the end it is a P7 for me. I'm a little bit disappointed with myself. I should not have picked up that 5-second time penalty, and I think I possibly threw away a podium there. A bit disappointed with myself. I think I did everything right driving wise. I was not making any mistakes at all. The only thing I possibly could have done better was choosing the right line on the first lap into turn 3. Should have gone for the outside, but other than that I think I'm pretty happy with my performance. Last 3 races I've been able to put up performances which are good for top 5s in terms of pace, so at least I'm very happy with that. GG's to Kazizel for finally winning an FRL race, and Ron second, Ginger third, so GG's to them. Now if you're looking forward to the next race, which is Monza, make sure you subscribe to the channel, that way you won't miss it, and I'll see you for the next video. Bye bye.